Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Me and my daughter were sitting at home watching 5 o'clock news. And breaking news came on of a shooting. An officer had been shot and a man had been shot. We heard all the gunfire and I just grabbed my chest. I said, why did they shoot that man like that? Why did they have to put so many bullets into him? That was Wednesday. And on Friday, they showed a picture of my son.
I've been doing work in community for a long time. This has been one of the most beautiful, generative, loving processes I've had the honor of being part of. And it is thanks to the many people who volunteered as part of the community visioning process. We had 8 rounds of feedback and input. We had concentrated 3 rounds that many folks here participated in that helped us to conceive of this. But we would not be here without Sharita Towns' brilliance, her creativity, her genius, her determination, and her saying, we're just gonna get it done. So when I tell you that Sharita is a superhero, please believe me, y'all.
Clap even louder for Walida and Marisha, everybody. Yeah. Walida came to me in the spring, I think it was April or May of 2019, and she asked me if I wanted to help with an art project to honor Keaton. And out of my respect for Walida, I was like, of course, let's do it. And so that was over 3 years ago. And we've had 8 rounds of community visioning. So we met in the basement of the Augustana Church. We made a hotline that people could call and inform and say what they wanted the material to be. We also, showed a video of Fred Bryant talking about Keaton, and we took written feedback. We met online last summer 3 times, kind of iteratively, and we had different groups of people come and inform the artwork. And so we kind of broke it down into themes and what we wanted it to say, what we wanted the material to be or to not be. And there's so many components that we still want to do, but what you're seeing in front of you is one of the components that everyone agreed had to come first, and that's the kintsugi in the street. And kintsugi, this Japanese art form, golden joinery, it's to mend and repair a broken pot instead of to throw it away. And it's in that mending that you actually make it stronger. And so I think it's interesting to see, all the time that we spent filling these cracks in the street. And you see 4 different eras of concrete of the city, right? So you think about time in that way, how much time has passed, how long these cracks will continue to be here, and we'll continue to mend and repair them. I think that sometimes the lines kind of look like rivers. In fact, the 2 lines that are on the plaque are actually the Willamette River and the North Saskatchewan River in Canada, where Keaton's family live. Because we wanted to kind of hold him between these 2 rivers and these 2 places and still think of him and his memory as this very fertile thing that continues to breathe life back into us in this community.
Does anyone recall the corner of Northeast 6th and Halsey, where Keaton Otis was seized upon and fallen? I take no joy whenever I'm here, but when I do, I stand here and stare. Why? Because I remember. I remember the Oregonian quoting me 3 times. One time, how on God's green earth does justice reconcile it? 2 times, how on God's green earth does justice reconcile it? 3 times, how on God's green earth does justice reconcile it? So, I continue to shout, justice! Oh, justice! Where are you? Why? Because I remember. 12 years have since passed, of course, when officers of the Portland Police Force executed that young man using lethal force, letting bullets fly like rice paper kites tossed into a lofty day's sky. Why? Why? I ask why? Why? If you want to know, I think the ghost of Fred Bryant, Keaton's father, still sits here. He frequents here. If it were my son, I know for sure you would find me here.
Next up, I want to bring Fabian John, who is an incredible hip-hop artist here in Portland. He was also one of Keaton's best friends growing up. He's carrying on Keaton's legacy, his t-shirt business, his community work that they did together, and he has generously came and shared his words, his remembrances, his art with us, and he's here to do that again today. So please welcome Fabian John.
How y'all doing? It's nice to be back in front of a mic for a minute, for a change. I'm basically like a stay-at-home dad now, so this is kind of fun. I'm gonna be real with y'all. But I grew up with Keaton, and it is cool to see what Fred started actually, and what Walida has been able to continue, and a lot of people that have put in effort just for this to even be here. It's pretty cool, and me and Keaton shared a lot of different things together as far as like aspirations and dreams and communication between each other about all different kinds of things, what we wanted to do and what we wanted to see accomplished for the city and for ourselves, and different ways to bring diversity and communication and art together into the scene was huge for us. And so to see just the spirit lead into this is like awesome. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that has contributed and has put heart and soul into this, because it means more than just gold filling the cracks in the streets and a plaque on the corner. It means a whole lot. So I just want to make sure people understand that and they realize that. So thank you to everybody that has put in the work. We really do appreciate it.
So the last speaker I'm going to bring up is Alicia Gartley, who is Keaton's sister and Fred Bryant's daughter. And she has been a part of this work. And when Fred passed, in her grief of losing not only her brother, but also her father, she has given us the support, the permission, the love to continue doing this and holding this space. So please help me welcome up Alicia to speak and say some words.
I'm literally shaking right now. I did not think that I was going to get up here and say anything. First and foremost, I want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. as I was telling Walida when I got here, this is so overwhelming. Like if my father was here right now to see this with all the work that he put in, it's just more, it's breathtaking. I just remember the first day we found out Keaton passed away, we drove over here because we didn't know if it was him or not for sure. And we had just saw something on the news about it. I remember we parked right here. And while we were sitting in the car, like just overwhelming, like, I don't know what it was. I really couldn't say what it was, but it just came over me. And I just knew at that moment that that was my brother that was gone. And we didn't find out like officially till 2 days later. And so for this space, for you guys to do the things you did, thank you so much. Like no amount of words can like say how I feel about this. My dad's other son, his oldest son, actually passed away 10 months ago, the same day he did. So it's been a lot going on. And I just think that the community coming together like this is, especially in our times right now, is just beyond beautiful. So I really don't know what to say, but again, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you,
Thank you for coming.
of course, thank you.
I'm going to bring up Dr. Pastor Haynes. He has been answering the call to justice since he was 13 years old. He is the coordinator of the Albina Ministerial Alliance's Coalition for Police Reform and Justice. He has worked with countless organizations fighting for justice across the country. He came and spoke at one of the first annual memorials for Keaton when Fred was still here. And it meant so much to Fred Bryant to have a community leader like Dr. Haynes come and say, your son mattered. He was precious, and we will fight for him. So please put your hands together for Dr. Pastor Haynes.
What's his name? 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 It is important to call the name of those who have fallen in the struggle, those who have been victims in the struggle for freedom, justice, and equality. Memory is important. The spirit of the ancestors crowd out right now. Keaton's spirit calls out right now. Fred Bryant's spirit calls out right now. Aaron Campbell's spirit calls out right now. The spirit of the many across this country are calling out continuously for justice, for freedom, and for equality. I had the opportunity on Fred Bryant's last days to come and minister to him. And as Fred looked and took some of his last breaths, he said, keep the struggle going. Keep the fight for justice and truth going on. Don't get weary, but keep it going on.
And this is about honoring Keaton. It's about honoring the work of his father, Fred, to remember his son, to fight for justice. And it's about connecting it to every single other loved one murdered by police. It's about connecting to every issue and injustice that has brought us here. Fred always said that his fight for justice for Keaton was justice for everyone murdered by police, was justice for the whole Black community in Portland, was justice for Black people in America. And I appreciated that framing that he brought so much so that we can see and honor this beloved person and also know as we fight for them, we are fighting against the system that took them from us.
While the world was in a panic, children of the Most High are standing. preparing for a great revealing. Only God knows how we're feeling. Ready for the harvest of the righteous, rejoicing, praying day and night, and looking forward to the judgment of the wicked. Fall, Babylon, fall, Babylon, fall. Fall, Babylon, fall, Babylon, fall, fall. Signs are being revealed. The winds of change have stilled. Scales are falling off the eyes, the unlearned becoming wise. We know who's our provider. We call Jehovah Jireh, he who has supplied manna from the sky. And fall, Babylon, fall, Babylon, fall. 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 Fall, Babylon, fall, Babylon, fall, fall.